What is popping? Party people? Now I'm back, I'm talking again. I recently did a video
This video is no longer recent because it took me 3 months to edit.
where I talked about my completion percentage. It's an embarrassing 30% right now.
Look at this dude.
And in that video, I said that I wanted to address it and get it a little bit higher. And to do that, I did a little bit of a deep dive on the 152 games on the backlog on my profile that I've played once upon a time. Only 28 of them have got the platinum. And I thought you guys might be interested in knowing the top 10 hardest platinums on my profile. So a few disclaimers before I just jump right in. If the platinum's no longer obtainable, you ain't making it in, bucko. So Fall Guys, yeah, see you later. You probably would have been number 2, 1 in the top 3 for sure. And the second and final disclaimer, I will mention PSN Profile's rating out of 10, but I'm not going to solely go off this. I'm also going to take into consideration what I think will be hard for me. For instance, the game Rust, bit of a niche survival game, mostly known on PC. I play that a lot. I've played 6,000 hours. Yeah, I know, 6,000 hours on the PC. Came to console, I played it. It's an 8 out of 10 on PSN Profiles, but because I know the game unbelievably well, it's just not going to be anywhere near as hard as that for me.
Ooh, you're hard.
And really, it's the same with any FIFA. I sort of grew up playing FIFAs, so winning an online draft or, winning online matches in Ultimate Team, still difficult, and it's getting harder and harder as I get older and older, but still pretty much possible if I dedicate a little bit of time to it. But without further ado, let's do it. Top 10.
I'm not actually using a countdown like that, but I just remembered when people use crazy edited countdowns and I couldn't help myself.
At number 10 is Returnal, coming in at a 6 out of 10 on PSN Profiles and roughly 50 hours to get the platinum trophy on this. A little bit of RNG involved, but we'll come on to that. So Returnal released and went down an absolute storm. People were excited for it, but I don't think it expected to be as well received as it was, and I didn't give it enough time. I've played it a bit, but you really need to dedicate yourself to the game, and I've never got past the first boss. I won't lie, I've maybe fought him 5-6 times and died every time. I know they've tweaked this game quite a lot, which has probably affected the difficulty of it. You can actually reload in now, and pause the game, whereas you couldn't really before. You couldn't at least close the game. And I think they've toned down the RNG a little bit on the collectibles, which really annoyed people when it first released. But I've just come to realize I am not very good at roguelikes.
You suck.
Whenever I come across the boss area, I just dive straight in, when really the whole point of it is to explore loads of different areas, level your character up a little bit, and go and fight the boss when you're probably a little bit OP, or at least it's going to be fairly comfortable. But yeah, I need to give it another go, but I think 6 out of 10 is probably what I would give it as well. I know that I'm capable of achieving the platinum, I just need to dedicate the time to do it. I didn't say anything at the start. If I sound a bit nasally, I've got a Christmas cold. Who doesn't love a little bit of a Christmas cold? So yeah, ignore that. I'm over the worst of it, I think. But anyway, number 9 is Gran Turismo 7. This bad boy racer comes in at a 7 out of 10 and takes roughly 90 hours to achieve the platinum. Bit of a meaty boy. Thankfully, the devs haven't been as cruel as they have been on previous Gran Turismos. I've actually got number 5, Gran Turismo 5, on my profile.
Piss off.
But thankfully, again, a bit like Fall Guys, it's not obtainable, so it's not going to make the list. Otherwise, it would be probably 1, 2, or 3 again. That is, I think, one of the hardest platinums there is. I think the hardest bit about this, obviously it's a little bit of a grind, but those damn licenses. Now, I've done a few, and getting gold on some of them, and I haven't even got to the hard ones, it takes a lot of time and patience. So yeah, I think, again, if I commit to this, I treat myself to a little bit of a racing rig, but that's in the loft now. But if I ever bring that bad boy back down, I definitely want to give this game another go. I do think the platinum is well within my capabilities, but it definitely will take at least the 90 hours, if not a little bit more. I've been slightly cheeky on number 8. I've done a 2-for-1 bundle. Woo! Black Ops 4, Black Ops 3. I've chucked them both together, and that's because I'm really not sure which one's harder. Black Ops 3 sat at an 8 out of 10, 100 hours to get the platinum. Black Ops 4, slightly less tricky apparently, 7 out of 10, but an extra 50 hours, so 150 hours. The reason I can't decide, because I could have just gone off PSN profiles, is because looking at Black Ops 4's trophy list, there's some ridiculously... there's some really, really tricky Blackout, which is the old Battle Royale trophies, which require you to do some really specific things and also win the game, which is never that easy in a Battle Royale. And then Black Ops 3, on the contrary, has what seems like a very tricky campaign trophy list, with realistic, having to beat the campaign on realistic, which you basically get killed in a single shot, I believe, and there's very, very few checkpoints. It's just going to be frustration. But yeah, 2 of them on the list. I actually do install them on my PlayStation 5 and do jump into the zombies and try and chip away at them every now and then. But yeah, a massive grind and tricky, a double whammy. Number 7, we're creeping up on the PSN profiles scores. We're actually already up to an 8 out of 10. So man, have I littered my profile with some tricky platinums. But this is Crash Team Racing. Whoa! A little bit of a 40 hours. It ain't going to take 40 hours. It's going to take a lot longer than that. Thank you very much. I absolutely loved this when it came out. I enjoyed it on the PlayStation 1 back in the day when I was a little wee boy. And when the remake came out, I had to get it. I actually played it with some friends quite a bit. I like it more than Mario Kart. I think it's the best kart racer there is. Come at me. Although this is a PlayStation trophy channel, so maybe everyone agrees with me. And I've actually got myself all the way up to 82% on this game. Whoa! So I'm really, really close. And I'm sure you can guess what trophies are left. I've got to beat the campaign, adventure mode, on hard difficulty, which actually is no joke. It's a bit overshadowed with the next achievement, but honestly, that is not easy. And also, obviously, nitrous oxides time trials.
Shut up, bitch!
I don't think I've beat a single one yet. One of a good friend of mine has actually got the platinum for this, which I'm slightly envious of. But yeah, his time trials are just a joke. And then next up is Overwatch/Overwatch 2. They've got a combined trophy list. I'm jumping back down. It's a 7 out of 10. But I actually think this will be harder for me than Crash Team Racing, and 100 hours on top of that as well. Thank you very much. So I've dabbled with Overwatch. I played with some friends. I've never played Overwatch 2, but one of my friends is really into it. So every now and then I'll jump in, play a few games, but I've never become that good at it. I'm also a pretty simple man. I find a character I like, and I just pick that character every time. And if somebody else picks them, I get very annoyed. But that is no good for this trophy list, because looking at it, you have to play with pretty much every character to earn all the trophies. Now, not really sure how hard it will be with each character, but the 7 out of 10 gives a pretty clear indication. It's not going to be playing a few games, doing really badly with these characters. You're actually going to have to do quite well. So yeah, Overwatch sitting in at number 6. We're now into the top 5. A little bit of a strange one at number 5, Worms WMD. Now there's been a little bit of a theme going on. Again, I think it was on PlayStation Plus, and my friends wanted to play. So I downloaded the game, I earned 1 trophy, played 1 game with them, and never touched it again. So it's just chilling, looking at me with 1%. Now this bad boy sits at a 7 out of 10 again, and is 50 hours apparently to get the platinum trophy, obviously skill related. And the reason this is higher than a few of the ones earlier, again, I've never really played Worms, not any good at it whatsoever, and when playing with friends they just destroyed me. So that's a little bit of a wake-up call. I haven't really delved into why this is so tricky. I know there's a lot of grindy trophies. You have to reach certain ranks online. And I believe earning some of the sub goals is pretty damn hard. But really, until I actually give it a go.
So here is me giving it a go. And as you can see from the health bars, it isn't going very well.
I don't know how hard it's going to be. And all I know is it's going to take a long learning curve for me to get any good at it. At number 4. Yeah, I think you're going to be slightly surprised by this, but it's Crash 4. I didn't just put it there because Crash 4, number 4. No, I put it at number 4 because I believe it's the 4th hardest game.
Are you sure
on
about
my
that?
backlog. We're jumping up to our first 9 out of 10. All the remaining ones are either a 9 or a 10 out of 10. And this bad boy takes apparently 100 hours. Again, I think it will take me a little bit longer. Now, I've got the Crash Bandicoot 1 Platinum.
Wow.
But this game's on a whole other level. I like it. I like Crash. That's the only thing going for it. And I think that's the reason it's not in the top 3. I'm fairly familiar with platformers, and I've played a lot of Crash in my day. But yeah, it's just some ludicrous. There's a lot of videos out there of people earning the platinum on this, but just, you know, earning time trials, mastering each level without dying, things like that. It's no joke. Now, the ego inside me tells me I can do it, but maybe I should put my money where my mouth is and actually do a video of me trying to earn the platinum on this. I have already completed the game. I just went through it, enjoyed it, found it a little bit tricky at moments, but nothing crazy. But yeah, as soon as I go for that platinum, it's going to be torture. And we slip into the top 3 with a little game called Back for Blood. 9 out of 10, 100 hours. So yeah, it's just pipped Crash into the top 3. And that's solely because this is a co-op game. Now, I have played a little bit. I think you know what I'm going to say. Played a little bit with some friends. Played 1 or 2 games. Had a little bit of fun. And that was it. I never played it again. Now, the time we did play, we got destroyed and it was on like normal mode. So I know that this trophy list is no joke. But the main reason, like I said, is because it is co-op. I wouldn't have a reliable group that I could get good at the game with and grind out the trophies. So, yeah, I'm relying on randoms, boosting partners, whoever it is, to maybe jump on the game with me at some point.
Maybe even one of my amazing subscribers.
And try and earn this platinum, but I just think it's a stretch. Even if I did find a reliable group, we then have to be good enough to do it, right? It's all well and good having a group of players. If a few of them aren't good enough at the game, including myself, then it's just not going to happen. So yeah, I love Left 4 Dead. That's the reason I picked up this game. It was super cheap. Now it sits on the profile and it's going to be a stain on there unless one day I decide to commit and go for it. I wonder if anybody's ever done it solo. I'm assuming it's not possible. Then we jump at number 2. It's a 10 out of 10. It's 100 hours. Probably take me 1,000. I think you know what it is. It's
Super Meat Boy.
I actually hate PlayStation slightly for making this a free PSN Plus game, because if they never did that, I would not have this on my profile. Again, when I didn't care about trophies, I gave it a little go, realised how hard it was, and never played it again. Now we're seeing some YouTubers get the platinum for it, and I think they're a lot better gamers than me. I have jumped in, I've reinstalled it a few times just to see, just get a little taste of how hard it actually is. But yeah, a 10 out of 10, a well-deserved 10 out of 10. I honestly just don't think I'm good enough to get this platinum. But maybe I'll prove myself wrong and just maybe go for it. I don't think so. I think it's always going to sit on my profile with a low percentage. And then there was one. And that one is Injustice. Gods Among Us. 9 out of 10. 100 hours or 90 hours. I'm not too sure. But one of the two. And yeah, it's just pipped out Super Meat Boy. Although I think both are almost impossible for me to get. Now, I've never actually played the game. But how's it on your profile? Well. My 5-year-old nephew decided to jump on my profile one day and jump on the game. And the worst thing about it, he didn't just play it and close it. He managed to earn himself a little trophy so I can no longer delete it from my profile. Little shit! The reason it's number 1, I think you probably know what I'm going to say. It's been the theme of this video, but I suck at fighters. Never really played them, never really enjoyed them. So a little bit of a double whammy, should we say. Looking into the trophy list just a little bit, I know there's 240 Star Lab missions you need to get 3 stars on, which sounds just like a grind and also extremely difficult. And then there's just beating the game and just sitting there and committing that amount of hours to it. So will I ever go for this? I think it's the same as Super Meat Boy. Highly, highly unlikely. I probably will polish off a few of the easier trophies just to get the percentage up a little bit. But getting the platinum, boy oh boy, do I wish this wasn't on my profile. So there we have it. Top 10 hardest platinums or hardest games on my backlog that I have yet to get the platinum on. Cuphead may have made it, but I got the platinum on that, didn't I?
Wow. That's why he's the GOAT.
Not messing about. You might disagree with the order of my list. You might disagree with the top 10 completely, but I've put the link to my profile in the description so you can go and take a look. Have a scroll through the 152 games on it and let me know if I've dropped a clanger and there's a game which is way, way harder to platinum than all of these combined. Quite enjoyed this little top 10 format. So I don't think it's going to be the last. I think next up, I'm going to talk about the top 10 longest platinums in my backlog. Not necessarily hard, but going to take a damn long time. See you then.